everybody. Welcome back. Really glad you're here tonight. I want to touch on something, and I've not done a PIO podcast in a while, or a PIO recording or video or whatever. But I really wanted to. I got to thinking about earlier today. I was thinking about how many times agencies use the senior official, whether it's the chief, whether it's the assistant chief or the sheriff. If it's law or if it's fire department, it's the fire chief oftentimes that is actually being the one that wants to get up and talk to the media. And, I was thinking about that, and it dawned on me because we were talking about the big winter storm pileup that occurred up in Michigan over the weekend. And I saw a press conference on it, and it was the fire chief that was there talking about it, and the event was over. And it really brought to me, I was thinking, who does your agency use? Is it truly the fire chief has the time to give a media briefing during the middle of the incident? In 2026, because of technology, people want to get information now, right now. The news media calls on the phone or they text, give us an update. Can you be on in 15 minutes? We'd like to do a live on the air update. And that's not 4 hours later when the incident's over, or 2 hours into the incident. The people want to know now, and I promise you, all of these Facebook news groups, Anderson Community, Middletown Community, Cincinnati Awareness, all these private awareness groups that are ran for scanner mongrels that want to tell the word about what's going on, they're going to be live. They're going to be on your scene. And if we as public information officers do not control that information that's going out, you essentially are allowing any person with a phone that can serve as a camera to be your agency spokesperson, whether you want to or not. You can argue with me all you want about that. But the public is going to go to Facebook. They're going to go to X. They're going to go to TikTok. They're going to go to Snapchat. And they're going to look for information about what's going on in the community. Do we not all do that? Every one of us. When something's going on, we go to Facebook. We go to X, we go to TikTok, Snapchat, whatever social media platform you use. That's what the community does. And they're going to listen to whoever is giving them information. Whether that's your agency that is talking, that's giving live updates, or even, recorded updates for that matter. Or it's going to be the guy that's behind the camera that would just happen to be driving down the street and the news media grabbed, or the local Facebook group grabbed to go on the camera because he or she wants his family and his friends to see him. That's what he cares about. He doesn't care about getting factual information. He's going to tell you what he thinks is going on or is going to happen. How many times have we been on an incident where the public thinks they know what we're doing, or they think they know what happened, and they start speculating? It's going to be rampant. We've seen it already in incidents right here in my own community. We've seen it across the country when people start speculating about a shooter in a school, or they start speculating about what caused the fire. or, plane crash, and people instantly start talking about, well, the maintenance of that airline, before they even have the information. Oftentimes, and we've heard the story before, people are tried in the public view before the facts are even put out there. Is it fair to do that to someone? Is it fair to do that to a business or a government official? But because of social media, because your agency is not getting in front of these events and these things that are happening, because you do not have someone that's trained as a public information officer that can do these things, and the chief is busy, he or she is running the incident, they're running the investigation, they're doing what they need to be doing because that's what they're hired to do. And oftentimes, when the media does call, they get the red button on the cell phone. You know that button, the do not disturb button. Ignore it. I'll talk to them later. So then the news calls the dispatch center. And the dispatch center says, hey, we're not allowed to tell you about the incident. And then the news just starts calling people. Or they come to the scene and they just start asking. And we're right back into that same position. Every agency needs to have a designated spokesperson. It starts right now. You can't designate someone when the big incident occurs and just grab the local firefighter or the sheriff deputy that's on the beat and say, hey, the news media is over there, go talk to them. You can't do that. That's not fair. That's not fair to the officer. That's not fair to the firefighter. That's not fair to the person that you throw in front of the video camera to be interviewed. It takes training. It takes a lot of training, as a matter of fact. It takes being recorded and practicing and knowing and having that rapport with your superior, with your elected officials in advance. What are you allowed to tell? And when I say, what are you allowed to tell? I'm not implying that we're deceitful, that we're not telling the public the right information. Not at all. I'm saying that there's things when we're doing an investigation that we can't tell. There's things that we may not want to release to the public right away. We may want to get in front of it. We may need that information for the investigation. You need to have that rapport with your media in advance. I can tell you I have that rapport. I am proud of that. I have worked with many of the reporters and the station directors. And I have done just that. I've told them, they've asked a question. And I'll say, guys, I can't give you that information right now. It's part of the investigation. Yes, we have a crime. Yes, we are investigating this fire. Yes, we are investigating this shooting. And we will give you the information just as soon as we can. But right now, so we don't hinder the investigation, I cannot. That's important. At THPR Group, we're trained professionals in public information, whether it's crisis communications or whether it's outreach, social media wise, or going and talking to the public. THPR Group is your contracted public information division. Give us a call today, 765-387-9008. We want to be a part of your team. Have a great day, guys. Thank you.